else can interact with. That's what makes a sales professional, right? So let's get more theatrical, right? So as we start to get and break down customers' beliefs, as we reframe by saying, let me ask you a question. I hear what you're saying, right? Those are all reframers. So that takes a no, and from the no, we want to get them back on the line and turn it into a yes, and then proceed down, right? Using those reframers is continue to build what?
Rapport.
Rapport. The stronger my rapport gets, the more the customer will what me?
Like you.
And trust me, and it will show the customer that I truly care. Right? Which is the biggest, most evidently missing piece to the automotive puzzle. Would you not agree?
Yes.
Including from us sitting in the store today, what's the next customer I can sell? Sharon's example was a vivid example. More concerned about a $200 commission. Right? Focus on what's required in order to make you an amateur, worried about every second week, and the keys to the kingdom, a pro against your competitors, an absolute professional. Are you going to sell everybody? But you're going to sell it to everybody who's in the market to
buy a car.
Absolutely unequivocally. All right? So really, really quickly, looping is just defined as a process, and then we'll do a real world one, we'll have some fun. So looping is just a process where we just keep going back. Every time we hit a no, we reframe by asking a question, and we'll use some examples, and then we continue going down. And remember, again, I use this example here, this lock, tick, 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 until the customer is comfortable enough, knows we care enough to say what?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So for one moment, until we go and do this, what I want you to do is I want you to think about the way your last 100 car deals have gone. All right? So everybody in the room has sold 100 cars. So I want you to think of the last 100 car deals. And then I want you to think of what we talked about today. And in less than a paragraph, I want you to tell me, honestly, the difference between how you do it now versus once I have this down to a science, how I'll do it after, and what kind of impact that would have on your relationship with your customer. So again, and repeat, how I do it now versus my last 100 car deals versus how I do it if I can execute this process, and what kind of impact it'll have on your customers and their relationships. Joe Legue, give me just a 10-second synopsis just on what your tummy tells you. You missed some of it, so go ahead.
Well, over the last 100 car deals, I find that I'm more professional with my follow-up and my service with my customers. I'm able to stay in touch with them better, find out what they need, and increase my chances not only with them again, but everyone else that they know because of the service that I provide.
Mm-hmm. And if we can find a way to articulate that to your new customers who are referred to you very quickly using this process, is that going to increase your ability to sell or decrease your ability?
It's going to quickly expedite that process.
And would you agree or disagree, and I want the honest answer, that using language patterns and proper tonality versus, you want to think about it. Think about it takes that much time. What is it you need to think about? You need to make a decision. Hurry up, sign, quick, press hard, need 3 copies. You want to call your wife, get her on the phone, I'll talk to her. Which way is a little, are we selling that way or are we influencing and persuading that way?
We're selling that way. We're trying to influence. We're trying to create a more positive, wholesome atmosphere where they are absolutely comfortable with everything that they're doing.
Right.
And we'll do it again and again and again.
You just summed it up. That's our goal, is to be able to do the same thing over and over and over. Because if we do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and it doesn't work, what do we have the opportunity to do? We have the opportunity to analyze it. Remember in our very first training session? It says, Eleanor, you've got an MBA, right? Very, very quickly, first day of class, business says what? First thing we have to do is know the outcome. Understand what's on the table. As the leader, the CEO of Microsoft, you have to know where you want to go if you're going to lead people, right? Or right? Second one, anybody remember what it is? Massive action. You can talk as much as you want, but unless you're going to execute, go home. We'll find somebody else. 3, what's the third one? This is where we run into trouble. Analyze. Give us some data to analyze how it's working. And then the fourth one is the big one where we lose our state. What's the fourth one? Readjust. It's between analyze and readjust that we kind of go, oh my God, I had 10 no's in a row. 10 no's in a row means I'm not much closer to a yes. Maybe those 10 no's in a row, those people weren't in the market for a car. Because I can tell you this, that if we use pattern with tonality, you'll get those that are in the market for a car. Would you guys agree? Would you not agree? You'll get those that are in the market for a car because it makes what? Logical and emotional sense. So why wouldn't you get it, right? It's that simple. So again, just quickly in recap, as we loop, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And as we loop, we talk about less and less about the product and more about us. So write that down. Less and less about the product. So as we go back, we talk less and less about the product and more about us and the store. Right? So if a customer said no, and I say, no, I hear you. Here's another one. Joe, I really hear what you're saying. But this is far more than just one transaction for me. By the time I get the car delivered, as I promised to you, I'm certainly not going to get rich, but really what gets my business humming is 1,000 referrals that I'm going to get from you when I over-deliver and under-promise. Fair enough? Right? Now you don't want to stumble, that's not great tonality, but that's the kind of track you want to use, right? That's the kind of track you want to use. It's far more than just a transaction for me, right? No, I'm going to think about it. I hear what you're saying, but you got to know it's far more than just a transaction for me. You're squabbling over 25 bucks a month. Hey Lou, I want you to know it's far more than a transaction, right? Sense of sincerity. Right? There's that tone of sincerity. Right? So one more time, it's far more than a transaction. Right? By the time I get the car delivered on the date that you need, by the time I get paid, I'm certainly not going to get rich off the car deal, but I'll tell you the way my book of business does work. When I overpromise or over-deliver and under-promise, those 1,000 referrals I get is what really makes my business hum. Fair enough? That's what I do. It's simple. Just a couple reasonable guys sitting around. Simple. Right? Again, more importantly, are they going to hear that anywhere else? Loop? They're not, right? They're not going to hear that anywhere else. Again, just an example of a loop that allows us the opportunity to continue down the road. So let's have some fun. So I think as we start, I think the one transition I want to use always is the getting started is very easy. All right, so regardless of when you want to use that, let's embed that into our DNA. Getting started is very easy. All I need, or is very simple. Just a question of getting a copy of your driver's license, proof of insurance, credit card with an available balance. No, don't say that. A credit card with an identifiable amount of money on. No, don't say that either. Anyway, getting started is very simple. All I need is a copy of your driver's license, proof of valid insurance, and a credit card. You tell me the amount we can refund on delivery. I'm going to issue my financial service manager, Sean. And we end with what word? 2 words?
Makes sense.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Just like Joe's face. Look at Joe's face right there. Everybody look. Fair enough? What did I say about closing? No big deal. No big deal. And I do this all day long. You want to see my avoidant board? Like, that's the mentality, right? So then, we hear the word what?
No.
No! Uh-oh. So now we're going, right? So we're going down the, let's do this, let's have some fun with this. So we're gonna go, here's our scale, or our line, I mean. So we know all the stuff in the middle. So we know all the stuff in the middle. And here's our lines. And what do we say about this? As long as they're in here, we're okay. We're okay, right? Because there's got to be a little variance, but when they get outside that, we're in trouble. So Louis, hit me with the transitional phrase. Getting started is very simple. Give me that one.
Getting started is very easy. All I need is your license, valid insurance, a void check that would be
So there's one. I'm going to be hard on him. Or we can say, hey, Luke, getting